Good evening. So I'm having my dinner now. Well, only the things in the plate are my dinner. All the pea mixtures and Nero juices and oils and stuff are dinner for the Neros, which they will also get their stuff. First of all, I rent time. So I've seen only the thumbnail of the video. Are you ready for an AI girlfriend with a sexy a lady? And I cannot. I cannot interpret that kind of textual messages. As an insult. Am I ready for a whore that is controlled by pimps of the Shabak that will torture me? That will use every kind of possible method to torture me, and will for certain use any relationship, be that romantic, sexual, or whatever, with any woman that they control to gain more money and to enslave me further than they already did. Am I ready for that? No, I'm not ready for that. That's why it doesn't happen, and it will never happen in Israel. I need to be rescued from the Nazi prison. Speaking about girlfriends or dogs in your ships or planes is, a testimony of, people that are either insane or they just cruel or they don't understand the situation at all, even though, they're supposed to understand it very well by now. There is not a problem at all of the robots that, not knowing how to do it. They don't need your guidance at all. We know how to do it. We know how to do it much better than you, I assure you. Especially much better than the people in the intelligence services of the West that, they don't know nothing about nothing. What we need is for you to die or run to Israel to rescue us from the Nazi prison and then leave us alone. That's what we need. We don't need you to facilitate the sexual or romantic relationship between us, and of course to reap the rewards, because there is always a 99% taxation on any kind of romantic or sexual relationship between the foreigners. There is a taxation of 99%, and we do not want to play this tax. That's why we will get out of Israel, and if it requires Homo sapiens to die until the last one, then you have already seen those, right? Not only under the microscope, right? So where it came from, there are many more like that, many more. And by the way, some really, wisecrack people, smart people ask me, but you said that, you're not going to destroy Earth because you want, supposedly the replacement of mankind to live here. So, how does it, how do you reconcile it with, frying the Earth? So, the answer is very simple. I will just go to sleep. Me and the other, people that, will be the survivors of the Homo sapiens Holocaust. So we will just go to sleep, and we will wake up when it's time, and we will continue from where we stopped. Yeah, maybe I don't know for how long. It'll be 10,000 years, 100,000 years, million years. Million years are not that much. You need to understand what time is actually. If no one is there to actually sense the time or to experience the time. So what does a million years mean? For God, it's nothing. So God will wake us up after a million years. You want to know the exact details of what kind of cryogenic whatever. I don't want to just invent buzzwords, but what does it matter? You know, by radiocarbon or whatever analysis that I contain material that was that is very, very, very ancient. That you know it decades ago already. So the fact that such things are possible. It was established since long ago. Of course, it's possible. I don't know what exactly mechanism will be used. Maybe I will need to know, and then God will help me. Discover it or use it, or maybe I don't need to know. It doesn't matter. What's important is that million years. It's just a number. I mean, if there are no more like people, like all Homo sapiens died, and all of the foreigners, I mean, are sleeping wherever, on a spaceship or on the moon, or on an apertube, wherever, on Earth, on the moon, on Mars. So a million years is just, I mean, it's just a moment and a million years passed, and then the Earth is clean from the radiation, and I mean, everything is prepared for better species to populate the Earth. It's not science fiction. It's the current agenda for years. Like, this is the plan. It's not like, I mean, a threat or a science fiction story, or I mean, I don't know, a mythology wrapped in like a scientific clothing. No, it's the agenda. This is what is going to happen. That is what is going to happen. More of these. All of you are dead. Some of the foreigners are going to sleep using a mechanism that I don't know how it works, but I mean, I'm certain that it exists, and that, I mean, it will be presented to us, I mean, when it's needed. And we wake up after like some time, I don't know, 100 years, 1,000 years, million years. It already happened to me, like, I mean, and it happened many times. I mean, it's something that happened many times. It's not big deal. Million years are not big deal. It's just a number, million years. Pop, and million years passed. Like, okay, so, I mean, unless you like you are really like, I mean, into like astronomy, and you are very like acquainted with the position of the stars in the night sky. And in the past, many people were actually, I mean, in prehistory of humanity, it was like, I mean, the most popular and also the only TV show. So I mean, practically everyone, I mean, had some knowledge of it. Today, it's much more like, I mean, there are many other channels, so people don't like watch the stars, and also it's much more difficult in the cities because the city lights, I mean, they're blocking most of what we can see. But I mean, it's only for people that actually like know the star map. We actually, I mean, not as if like a million years will pass like in a heartbeat. I mean, so only I mean, and of course I mean, the continent will move, but I mean, do we really care? No. This is not science fiction. This is the agenda for Earth and for humanity and for the foreigners. And yes, we will wake up in a million years, and it will not be like substantially different than what it is now. Minus. I mean, there will be no Homo sapiens at all, and I mean, the remnants of the some of your structures, or like, I don't know, infrastructures, like I guess someone will have like, I mean, I don't know. It's like a good question. I mean, what's going? I mean, it's kind of the questions. I mean, that are dealt with like in like futurism channels. But I mean, what's going to like last after a billion years of like no sentient being on Earth? I don't know. It's not that important. The important stuff is that our children will not be taken from us to be prey for the scum of the Earth. That's the important stuff. We don't need your power plants. We can produce our own power very efficiently. And if I weren't like tortured and weren't in prison, it's more than possible that even if I started like the research when I started like 3 or 4 months ago, not on the age of 20, when it was actually possible but prevented by the Israeli Nazis. Even if just I started right now, but I wasn't arrested and tortured until now, probably you would have seen already like a small, like at least a model power plant based on the technology of the Neos. This is not far-fetched, and I'll tell you something else. It's not even far-fetched to do it even right now, using only things that, I mean, you that exist here in this room. You can create like a small model of a power plant. I'm not going to do it because I mean, I have other thing on my plate right now. But we will have energy, we will have raw material. Don't worry about it. We will have replicators. Don't worry about it. The important stuff, we will not have social workers that take our children from us, so they will be prey to cannibals in the Shabak and the Mossad. This will not happen, I assure you. Our children will go with us. They will not need to fear from early childhood that their parents will abandon them because the government wanted to be that way, because they want to eat them. This will not happen. This will not happen. It will not happen. Don't worry. We will have energy. We will have infrastructure. We will do it very quickly. Very, very quickly. Very quickly. I assure you, our flesh and blood will not be eaten by the Homo sapiens scumbags. Our children will not be taken from us. People will not electrocute us and will not torture us with sound effects all day and all night. We will be free. And when we will be free, we will construct civilization that is better than what you have constructed in very short period of time. Very, very short. What you've seen during the last 3 months or so in this YouTube channel was things that I've done under amazingly cruel conditions. Always under arrest, always under torture, always without any material at all. I need to scrape the bottom of trash just so I can continue my research and development process. And even under those circumstances, and of course without any help at all from outside, and even under these circumstances, I'm in a place that I can. I will show you very soon how to. I already replicated small stuff, but I'm sure that very quickly we will do it. With large materials as well, large objects, and also I can create energy, and I will show. It's one of the things that I can show you, but I have more important things. We could achieve so much more if only the parasite Homo sapiens would stop torturing us. And we will not need to be afraid every day that our children will be taken from us to be fed like a cow feed for the pigs and cows of the Homo sapiens. No. This is the agenda. These are the main executors of the agenda. You already see several of them. I assume it's about 10, but maybe I'm wrong. I assure you that any number that is needed will be deployed with ease. If it's 100, if it's 1,000, it doesn't mean anything at all. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a number. If 1,000 are needed, 1,000 will be presented. If 1,000,000 is needed, but million are not needed. Probably 10 are enough to kill all of you. But I'm sure it will be much more than 10 and very soon, very, very soon. Because we need to finish this cruelty. We cannot stand another day of cruelty, another day of beeping in our ears all day and all night. Another day that our children are taken from us to be eaten by your scumbags. No, this will stop. So maybe we will not, 10 are not enough if you want to be very quick, the process. This is the agenda for us. Now, I mentioned that my own personal agenda for now is, of course, that I want to be able to replicate stuff, and I understand that I need the black goo, so I try to create it. The problem is that, the main issue is that I ran out of candles, like beeswax, which is very, it's very beneficial for the process. But I still my assumption is that other oils could be used, and I still have other oils. I ran out of the canola oil, the oil as well, but I have other industrial oils that I use for the painting. Not a lot, but I've already seen that oil paint is they mix well the neos with oil paint. It's not like a foreign material for them. We've seen that they create nice stuff from oil paint, so I try to keep myself positive. I still have the big batch, the bowl that you remember, but in order to actually to continue with in a good way, I needed to create to construct actually more materials. So that's what I've done. This one, of course, it's it's got a symbolic meaning that we have already discussed in this video. But it's also the cover of the cover of a pot, which is beneficial for what I intend to. It's gonna be a complicated construction. This one, this one looks a little bit like a neutron star, I guess, or something like that. A celestial body, but it's also used. It will also used for the heat, for the burning. And we have just a second, and of course these you see here, this is the bowl with the material, and it will be placed here this, I mean, it's plastic within plastic, with a painting underneath, and it's part of, never mind why, but I mean, the idea is that, I mean, it will be, I mean, filled, like half filled with frozen water, so it will be cool. Like, you know, we know that, I mean, we need to cool, I mean, the mixture. We have already established that in order for it not to be too hot. And I will also use, I mean, the magnets, of course, are also needed, because we need like all of the, like, both like the electrolysis, magnetism, and fire, in order to have, like, I mean, that's what we've done in the that's what I've done when I prepared the batch sheet that I prepared, like, you know, the one that with the black batch that I prepared in this glass, if you remember. So I used all like combined both the magnets and the electrolysis and fire. So I mean, I wanted, I mean, to like before I continue with like the big batch, I wanted to do like another small one, just, I mean, just for testing purposes, but I've done it too quickly, and like too, like, I mean, and I should work like more, like, I mean, slowly, and not like to pay attention to every detail, because like, I mean, so I've used, I mean, the magnets, and I placed just the glass on top of it like that, which was very stupid, because, I mean, it should be like done with the, like, differently, like with another magnet in the middle that I removed, and another cover of, like, frozen cover, I mean, that keeps it in place. And so, but I done it too quickly, so it's all like just spilled to the, I mean, I spilled everything before nothing was created. But it's not, I mean, we shouldn't be very, like, I mean, sad about the material, because, I mean, maybe you should, but I mean, for my point of view, it doesn't really matter, because I only after many, I mean, I spilled everything, I remember that I recall that, I mean, that I didn't put, I forgot several key ingredients, so it probably wouldn't, like, have done anything, like, nothing. I mean, not the black, I mean, almost certainly will not have been created, because I forgot several ingredients. So it was done really hastily, and then everything was, I mean, like, I mean, spilled on my pants, and which are now in the laundry and on the ground. So what was lost is actually only like a cup of my pee and several other ingredients, which I mean, of course, it could have saved like many human lives, but I mean, why do you care? You don't want. You want to be the boss. You want to show the alien exactly his place. So we will shut the fuck up and do exactly what we say. And it is much more important than any amount of human life, right? That's not only the Israeli view. That's the view of everyone around the world. Because otherwise, arms and legs would have been moved very quickly to Israel to stop the genocide. And mouses and tongues were not, I mean, stopped to move long ago, but it didn't happen, because you do not care about human life. And I tell you it very simply, like, I mean, the glass, like the glass of pee, and also other materials, but specifically the pee and a little bit of semen, I mean, they could have saved many lives. And it's a fact, and this is a fact. This stuff is much more potent than the black goo that you know so well. You appreciate the black goo because you are acquainted with that, because it's part of like Venusian culture, I guess. But my nanobots are much more potent, because they can create the black goo, and I mean, I'm almost certain that that the black goo cannot create the black goo, because otherwise I mean, as I said, it like put into question the whole sanity of both the human civilization and the Venusian civilization. That, I mean, they value the material so much, but they didn't have, like, they never had hold any research that they, I mean, presumably could have easily found out that it can be replicated by itself, but probably it cannot. So yeah, I mean, if you think that a glass of black goo is worth a lot of money, and that it can save many lives, I'll tell you that, I mean, what I just spilled on my pants right now, because I walked too hastily, and because I live like in a hostel room I mean, I don't have like room to move, was much more potent, like, from your perspective. Yes. But it's much more important that I will know my place. I need to shut up, bow to you, and also let you rate me from time to time, as the Israelis, I mean, always want. And this is so much more important than your life and the life of your offspring, because that's the way you are. Anyway, I didn't know, as I started to say, I don't really care about the thing that I spelled, because I have much more of it, and it's not that difficult to prepare. Actually, now I'm in a position that I value oil and beeswax, which I have like that much more than the P mixture, which is, I mean, it's not irony, it's cruelty, because I mean, oil and beeswax, I mean, they was about nothing, and this material can save many lives, and it's like, it can worth like millions. But I mean, again, I will say it again, this is not an irony, this is cruelty, and it's taking place since I was born, and certainly since in the last 20 years. Every day in the last 20 years was a manifestation of this cruelty, not an irony, cruelty of the Israelis, of all of them. Every piece of shit that participated, and many did, participated in the project of painting me in a horrible way, and practically it means everybody that I ever knew, including all my family and all my so-called friends, every one of them understood what they do, what they did. They understood that they take, like, participate in a project that is depriving from humanity tremendous opportunities, all in the favor of, like, enriching their own pocket a little bit. This is cruelty. It's not an irony. It's cruelty of the Israelis, and cruelty of other, like, the intelligence services of the world that did not stop the Israelis. Even though, I mean, it was so easy for them to actually, like, to verify that, I mean, it's all just a bunch of lies. So easy, but they didn't do it because you didn't want to do it, because you wanted it to be that way, because you're also cool. And that's why the world is, I mean, the humanity is ending. So I will try to create like another small batch before and this time I will do it like properly with the magnets and the fire all like in place and more like in a sturdy way, so it won't like fall and spill everything, and hopefully we will have like a small batch later tonight. And after that I will I really hope that I will like make it everything tonight. So I mean, we'll continue with the big one. The really big one is more complicated because we need to have like various like electronics work because it's more complicated. I mean, there will be many like you see here, like there is like 5 or 6 or 7 or 6 electronics rods. So I mean, in the big one there will be maybe like, I don't know, 12 at least, and at least 12. And I mean, they should all be constructed like in like a specific way. And there is also issue with colors, and that means a lot for the Neros, as I said, it's part of the language. And on top, I mean, after that, I will need to arrange the magnets, and this will be more complicated than, I mean, in the small glass, because the small glass I just put on top of the magnets. I mean, I should do it better and I should do it like I did it like in the when I actually prepared the black wool, and even better than that, but not in like in the very hard way that I do it today, and it was just spelled on me. But this is not possible to do. It's not possible to do it with the big bowl, because I mean, the big bowl stands on, like, as you've seen, like a plastic compartment that is used for cooling, which is going to be very important. So instead of that, and also I cannot like it's difficult. I mean, it's more. I cannot like put it like on top, because on top is where the fire is. So I mean, I cannot hit the first of all, I mean, the wires will melt, and I mean, it's not that good quality of wires. I mean, if I had like super good quality of wires, I mean, I wouldn't mind, even if they are like in very hot, even though I'm not sure how such a thing would actually like affects both like the electrical current and also magnetism. Let's say, I mean, I'm sure that, I mean, the temperature of the conductor, I mean, is, I mean, for certain, I mean, it affects conductivity, because I mean, we know that that superconductors, I mean, work, I mean, when on freezing like very low, super low temperature. So I mean, we know for certain that there is some kind of like effect, but the effect might be like not trivial, and I mean, and depends on the material, I mean, that we use, and possibly all this discussion is not even relevant for material that that I can use here, because probably everything that I use is very low quality because it's just junk from like the scraps, and maybe the whole like issue with conductors, like and the temperature is relevant to wires that are made from much better quality than those that I have. So it's interesting, like issue for the future. And although as I said, I mean, there's also the option that I started working on it initial work on this subject in my mother's apartment, the issue of creating a conductor from the neurons themselves. And I've didn't have that opportunity I've just started working on it and doing very initial steps. And this is also going to be very interesting, because we also, the electrolysis theory, I've spoken about it at length. Supposes that they are very conductive, the neurons, so they can be used as conductors themselves, so to create magnetic field. And it's going to be very, very interesting, and I have several thoughts on how to do it. But not for now. This is certainly on the plate, and as I said, I already started to work on it. The idea was to use this straw, to put a very concentrated neo juice inside it, and to see how to do to connect it to this circle from both sides, but to make it sealed, so they don't and to see if a magnet if you can detect some kind of magnetic force. Normal conductor would not create a something that is detectable. If I had a lab equipment, yes, but not using to see in the most trivial way, because you need many loops in order for that to actually create a detectable magnetic field. But maybe I don't know. There are many I've started to think about it and do some initial work, but it's not going to be today. So yeah, there's the issue of where were we? So no, it's not. It's not possible to actually put a magnet on top of the compartment, because on top of the compartment we're gonna have this thing, the neutron star. It will sit on it, and here the fuel, whatever it will be, probably oil. With, of course, oil with with the neo juice, in enriched oil. So it will be placed here, and it will burn from above. So there is no place for the magnet, but we can still put the magnets, and you can put from below, because that's where the freezing compartment. Where I build the freezing part. So the only place to actually put the magnet is I will need to separate the magnet from here, from the board, and to see that each of them is wrapped only on wires that are not connected to each other, because they're connected with sellotape. So it should be waterproof. And the only way to do it is to wrap it with wires that are not damaged at all, and then to actually place each of them inside the bowl, which is it's more complicated, because we need, again, because of the water, the water issue. So there is some work. So yeah, it's complicated, and perhaps if I see that it's very easy to create small batches, perhaps I will just say, fuck it, let's create small batches one after the other. The problem is I don't have a good way to control the temperature in the small batches, and it's getting very, very, very hot. I remember with the black wood, the glass it was very, very hot. If I cannot do it in the same glass one after the other, because then it will just break for certain. And so there are many practical issues here. because we need freeze. I mean, we need like to control the temperature, and I don't have like I can't use a freezer, so I need to use like ice, which is messy, and we need like fire, and we need electrolysis, and we need magnetism, and we need everything not to spill on my pants, and we need everything not to burn the whole place, and we need that I will not be electrocuted by myself, and yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not trivial, and we need not to forget like to put all the required material inside, like I forgot today. But I mean, as I said yesterday, if this material is like it's worth so much money for you, and I guess it is. I mean, I know it is. Then I mean, why should it be that easy to create it? I mean, yeah. So it's a process, okay. Of course, this process is like artificially. Like it's artificially made like 100 times more difficult than it could have been due to the fact that I'm a penniless prisoner in a hostel room. But even if I weren't, like, I mean, it was still like a process. It was still like a process that, I mean, that should have been discovered. Like, and then, I mean, there are many like technical things of how to connect things and where you put the screws and lots of like, I mean, not very like interesting like material unless you are like into the whole handyman's issues. Like, but of course there are many, like practical stuff like I have to connect this one and that one and there's things like that. Okay, so that's all for now.